Like my mama would get drunk and remind me that when she tried to have an abortion, it was just too late.
Oh,
I tried to get
my
rid of it,
goodness.
but it was too late. She'll say that to me now.
Welcome back to the Motherly Shift podcast. I'm Kim Michelle, and we're continuing last week's conversation with Tana in our new series, Trauma, Triggers, and Therapy. In this episode, Tana graciously continues to unfold her story with honesty and openness during our candid discussion.
I was going to ask you, what's your relationship right now?
We don't have one. The only relationship is just her check comes to my account. I have to pay the people where she lives for her little rent to keep staying there. I stop by, find her every week to take her some money so she can get her personal items or food or whatever for the week. And I try my best to feed her with as long and a spoon as I possibly can. She lived with me for 6 years since we was in this house down here in Palmetto. I pulled her out of a boarding house because she looked like she was dying. She was skin and bones, and tried to pull her in to help her get back healthy. For a while it worked, and after a while she just wanted that lifestyle. I done put her in rehab twice, got her places that's safer to live to keep her out the element. She don't want that. I was at the light up here in Fairburn, where Landmark is. I was about to cross the light, and I could see her with her walker. This was just 2 days ago. I could see her walking across the street, and I almost started crying because I was like, look at her. Like she's skin and bones again. And any day I could probably get a call that she passed away from a heart attack. You always in the sun. You always drinking. You doing drugs periodically, and you ain't healthy.
Yeah.
And if I ever cry for Marie's death, if she dies, it's gonna be because she never know what the joy of having daughters that can love you. You don't even know what it's like to be a mama for real. We could really love you and love on you, and you never allowed that.
That addiction is serious.
It
It's
is.
strong. So
And
how
it's
did the two stints in rehab go?
she would get clean. And I told the first time I put her like in a home up in Decatur, and she started feeling like she wasn't being treated right and begged to come back. That was the first time she had ever been in rehab in my life. So I thought, okay, I'll bring her back here. She clean. I had her in a little program where a bus will pick her up and take her somewhere, do arts and crafts and stuff. But in between those days that she wasn't going to the arts and craft days, she was coming to Fairburn to drink.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point that she got to where the bus wouldn't come get her no more because she wanted that more than that. Then I put in the rehab this last time. They moved all the way out to Griffin, boarding house out there. Though that wasn't a rehab anymore, but it was like an environment where you can, stable living. She found the people that drink there and start. And see, the thing is, we can drink and have a good time.
Right.
Marie can't. She gonna show out. She wanna act the fool, like schizophrenia type stuff. To the point that the landsman, the guy that owned the property was like, she can't stay here. So then my sister that lived in Conyers, the one that I was 12 when she had her, she said, I'm gonna give Marie a shot. But she got 4 kids up there, small kid. She said, I'm gonna try, Tana, I'm gonna try. It didn't last a month. And she got a child with severe ADHD. So she couldn't tolerate the way my mom was acting with this child. And so she got rid of it, and now she ended up in a house over here in Fairburn where everybody kind of got the same habits she got. Her check is benefiting them because they don't really work, so they can pay. That check helps pay their bills over there. They really don't want her there because she be showing out, but the money helps them, and I think they tolerate it because of the money. But everybody doing the same thing, so it's just a matter of time at this point that I can't see her being here too much longer.
How old is your mom now?
So let's see, 47, 57, 8, 9, 10, 11. So she's about 62. She'll be 63 this year, and I'll be 48. So she young.
She is now.
Yeah.
She is.
I mean, my mother-in-law, who is in her early 60s, will be running with Camille with the basketball all out of town. And like, they the same age. And my mama just done tore her life up and her body up and beat it down with alcoholism.
So you have two daughters yourself.
Yeah.
What have you chosen to carry into your parenting of them, and what have you chosen to exclude?
Well, the first thing I really wanted was a stable family. You know, I wanted them to have a two-parent home. And I managed to give them that for 14 years until Jarek decided he wanted to live his street life, and that's his story to tell. But I try to encourage them. I try to remind them that they're beautiful. I try to, let them know they could talk to me about any and everything, and they ain't got to worry about me bringing it back up in a hostile way and make them feel bad about it. Of course, my daughter is a lot of stuff that I've had to accept. I got one. I mean, we joke about it, but I mean, she a little stud. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't want her to live. I don't want her to live through me. And I'm not trying to live through her.
Right.
I don't want to be in the ground one day and she ashamed of her lifestyle because she felt like I was ashamed of it. This is who you are.
Right.
And I love you through it. I've reminded her that it's not going to be an easy life for her. Like, even though it's more accepted nowadays, you're going to still deal with discrimination and people judging you because of it. For a long time, we could be in lines and people will say him and stuff, and Chris and Jarek would be so quick to be like, her. I don't say nothing. I'm like, well, that's what she looked like, And she was a little bitty girl. I'm like, Mama, they thought I was a boy. And she thought it was funny. You know what I mean? She's not a transgender person, meaning she's okay. She recognizes she's a female, but this is the way she dresses, the way she looks, and this is how she is. So I just try to accept her. I don't have to try. I accept her for who she is. My other daughter, I feel like right now, I just don't know what she want to do. She's just a comfortable little girl just trying to figure out where she fit. Her twin is very popular. Camille is very popular. Athlete, all these things. So Kayla trying to find her way. So what I try to do is just keep that door open for them to talk to me about where they are in life in that moment.
Right.
I try to remind them of the challenges, wherever they are in that moment. I try to remind them of the challenges they may face in this moment that you're in.
Yeah.
But I just try to be as accepting, but not where I'm gonna make them naive about life, because this is life, and you're gonna have a hard time. And I tell them what I feel like right from wrong, and I'm gonna tell them based on my life experiences what you're gonna deal with. But I still try my best to let them be them, and I'm proud of my girls. I want them to be whoever they are, but I can't live through you. Would I like some cute little dainty girls that like to dress up like I do? Yes, absolutely. But that ain't who they are, and I have to accept them for who they are.
How much have you shared with them about how you grew up, and what is their relationship like with your mom?
That I've shared a lot. I can remember one day, and I joke about this because when Chris around, we always tend to have a big family discussion. And I was telling them, whatever you're not healed from still affects you. If you're not healed, you're going to react. And I was talking to them about one day I was looking in the mirror at my house, and I was about 11 or 12. And I remember looking in the mirror, calling myself ugly. And I started crying immediately. But when I was telling them the story, I started crying in front of all of them. And I say the reason why I could make a joke out of it is because I look up, Chris was crying, and this wasn't even a year ago. Chris was crying, and he comes over to hug me. And both of the girls sitting up there looking at me like, what in the world just happened? Like, they tougher.
Yeah.
Camille is a little bit more sensitive, but Chris crying, my son crying, the two girls sitting there looking at me like, what in the world? But I wanted them to understand that because my mama didn't make me feel beautiful, that I didn't feel beautiful. So I looked them in the mirror at that moment and felt like I was ugly. And for a long time, I did not feel attractive. And um, and I can remember Chris having to actually console me because again, here he is, still fulfill my pain to where the girls, but I was telling them that so they could understand what I deal with. They call her, everybody call her Grandma Ree. Grandma Ree, we don't like Grandma Ree. They don't fool with Grandma Ree. You know, and they dealt with her being in the house with all of the tantrums and the keeping them up all night. And even to the point one of my daughters got diagnosed with PTSD from the behavior from my mama.
Oh my goodness.
So when I sent them to counseling after me and Jarek's separation, a lot of things even came out as it relates to the trauma that my mama was causing in the house at all. So they absolutely have no relationship with her. Kayla tried to be there for her. I went down to help Grandma Ree put on her shoes, or like she knew she could call Kayla. Kayla, come help me put on my socks, you know, and Kayla would do it. Camille, she wasn't fooling with it at all. She could be calling Camille name, and Camille could hear it, just wouldn't respond. After a while, Kayla just got tired, and then she started responding because they just kept seeing the disrespect that she was giving to me, and they shut her down.
Yeah.
So Chris respected her for years, but they didn't at all, ever. Even the little baby, my baby sister, the one that's 22, she has no relationship with my mama.
Let me ask this question. How much of this did you carry into your choice for your husband? And how much of this was carried into your marriage? And what do you think the effect was on it?
All of it I carried into it. And the reason why I have to say all of it is because when Jarek came into my life when we were dating, he sat in the courtroom with me when I got guardianship of them. And if I told
them being
the 3 siblings,
your
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
and he knew what he was getting himself into. And that's why I started loving him even more, because most guys was running from all that. I'm in my 20s, getting guardianship. Now, I didn't have to fully get them full time till after my grandmama died, which I was about 32. But I still had all the responsibility. We lived a block from each other. I stopped by there every day, made sure everybody ate. Because at this point, my grandmama had a stroke and couldn't walk. So we hired a live-in person to help with her. She could talk just like me and you talking now. She just couldn't. Wasn't nobody finna get her them kids.
Right.
So I had to sign on a dotted line for them kids. But it wasn't. But he knew what he was dealing with. The thing that me and Jarek bonded over is that my mama was a crackhead and so was his dad. His daddy broke up their family with drugs. My mama broke up our family with drugs. So Jarek understood, like we was on the same page. Jarek had 4 sons before we got married. So I almost felt like, you know, yeah, he accepting some stuff from me, but I'm accepting some stuff from him too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got 4 boys, 3 baby mamas. Yeah, sure enough, my kids was probably gonna be in the house with us, but he was on all his child support, all kind of stuff. But he was supportive. My grandmama was crazy about him. He was there for everything that I had to deal with back then. And I'm still grateful for him for that season in my life, because I lost my grandmama. And if I lost my grandmama with them kids and didn't have Jarek, I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
You know, and so he was there, you know, but I accepted things that were red flags back then because I felt like that was probably about the best I was gonna get.
That's what you thought you deserved.
Yeah, because look what I'm dealing with. Who want to deal with this? Who want to deal with the alcoholic mama that's showing out, and the grandmama in bedridden, and 3 kids that I gotta take care of? This man loved me through this. Of course, I'll deal with him with all these baby mamas and on all this child support and warrants in every county in Fulton County, because nobody else was gonna want me. Now don't get me wrong, I loved him. I was head over heels in love with him, but I ignored all those red flags because I felt like I wasn't worthy enough to get anybody any better in a better situation because of what I was going through. And he was there through all of that.
But Tana, is that past tense?
I don't think so. Because even Chris said something to me the other day. He told me, you accepted Jared with all them red flags because you thought you weren't worthy. And here you is still out here trying to beg these niggas to stay with you. Because he said, you finna do it again, mama. And it hit me. I was like, dang, you might be right. You know, here I am ready to accept certain things because I'm feeling like it's so hard to find somebody.
Yeah.
And I also feel like I still am out here searching for love again and acceptance again. Now, this person ain't got to accept all the stuff that Jared had to accept because I ain't got all the house full of children no more, a sick grandmama or things like that. But I still feel like I'm searching for love and a lot of rejection. A lot of rejection.
So
A
you're
lot of
aware
rejection.
of that and you acknowledge it. What do you do with that?
That's what I'm still working out right now. Cause, and I don't know if Chris told y'all this, but earlier 2023, me and Jerry separated at the end of 2022. I had lost a friend group, which really weren't my friends, but I lost a big friend group. All of them was shady. Lost my husband. So I decided I was gonna have weight loss surgery. And the reason why I wanted to have weight loss surgery because in that moment I didn't care if it killed me. Because I was like, if I get rejected now, I don't want to think it's because of my weight. And if I die from it, then so be it too. And that's me with having 2 kids. And here I am, selfishly, not even thinking about them. Just like, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. And I said, well, I'm going to have this surgery so I can lose some of this weight. My body was just going against the grain with losing weight. And my knees was going bad. And I'm like, if it worked, it's a win-win. If I'm not here no more, then I'm just not here no more. Because I was scared of weight loss surgery. But I had already had a hysterectomy right here. They came back a couple of years ago, got the ovaries out. And I said, I done been in here a couple of times anyway, and I survived it. Let me just go on ahead and let's try. But I said, if I get rejected now, it ain't gonna be because of my weight. See, if I get rejected, I'm always gonna go to it being my weight or how big I am.
So this most recent and it's fresh rejection.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't even know. I'm still processing this one. Because he would wake up telling me, good morning, beautiful. Like, if anybody told you today, you beautiful. I felt like my femininity was kicking in around him. He was a tall guy, kind of like my husband. He had lost a tremendous amount of weight because he was trying to save his life. And I felt good. And it made me tap into what I want to feel with a man, a strong man, because I tend to get men who I feel like I'm fixing them. Like my husband, I felt like I had to fix him, build him up, raise him up. And then, in his case, he still just couldn't get his stuff together. I get him right, and then he just fall apart again. But this guy, I didn't feel like I was gonna have to fix him, but the guys I done dated since my separation, it's like I always become like a mother, like I'm nurturing them. I don't want that no more. I need you to come already ready.
Yeah.
Come in my house and be like, let me cook on the grill.
Yeah.
Your house need to be pressure washed, let me get that done. I need a man's man. I'm tired of getting people that are in a transition that I need to fix because naturally, I start trying to fix them. I naturally try to nourish them and thinking I'm going to be there for them through whatever they're going through. And then they'll be a better person for me because they're going to know I was ride or die for them. But after 15 years of being ride or die for this man, he left. He walked out the door. And I did everything I can to try to make him. So right now, I probably need to just sit still and make sure I know exactly who I am, know exactly what I deserve, so that I do not accept somebody I need to fix. This last guy was in a transition. He was moving from Jersey to here in the process of getting a job. Now, don't get me wrong, he took me out on a couple of dates. He wasn't asking to be fixed. I can tell it was even things that he wasn't feeling confident in within himself because of his transition in his life. But again, he still would have been somebody I was waiting on to build himself up. And I was ready to accept that. Soon as somebody ready to accept me, I'm ready to accept, especially if I like them a little bit. But I find and they go back to what Chris said, you're going to do it again, mama. You're going to do it again.
I just find it very hard. I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying, and my heart is definitely going out to you. But I'm looking at this beautiful woman sitting here with me, and I'm just like, the tricks that our mind plays on us is just so unfair.
It is very unfair.
It is so unfair.
That's that trick of the enemy. Just come in that brain to like fester up those things. Everybody got their cross to bear. One of my friends said it all the time. All of us got our cross to bear. And the way we came up is still in us, even though we might be done overcame certain situations. It's still in there somewhere. So I'll tell my daughters, oh yeah, that when you walk through the room, because I used to wouldn't do that. I used to be like, didn't want to walk in front of the crowd at the stadium, at the games, because I was scared. Everybody was looking like, look at this big girl, look at her, I don't know, like my mind would be gone. And so now I'm having to say the stuff to them that I wish somebody was saying to me back then. Like, if you was to look at my Instagram and Facebook, you would think I'm full of myself because I take so many pictures. But those pictures help me. It helps me to build myself. It helped me. Now, it ain't about nobody, what somebody's saying or how many likes. If I feel like I look good that day, I take a picture and I will look at it over and over again and I remind myself, hey, you look good right there. And I have to do that because I was not told. It's so funny now because all the boys that rejected me back then, people like, well, I really had a crush on you. But see, back then it wasn't popular like thick girls. We went Creekside, black was actually a minority, it was more white people. So the thinner people, the butts wasn't in style, all that stuff.
All of that.
So I was really thin, compared to the cheerleaders and the drill team girls. And it wasn't popular like a girl my size back then. But now, if somebody was my size in high school, it's more popular. I was around a lot of my classmates last night, and one of the guys hugged me. So I don't know if I like this little Tanner like this. He's like, this don't feel right giving you a hug. And it was funny, but I do feel the best I've felt in life, and I'm not sad I did the surgery. I'm not ashamed of it because you still got to work to keep it. I've watched women gain all their weight back. So I gotta be disciplined. I got to do stuff to keep it, but I was like, if I get rejected now, in my mind, it ain't gonna be about the weight. And all the rejection that has come has definitely been different stuff, different things so far, But I can say that I feel better with companionship. I do feel better if I feel like somebody care about me. And I'm having a hard time with the whole being alone thing. I definitely am having a hard time with that. And I feel like my whole life I've been fighting for love.
Where do you think that comes from, that not wanting to be alone?
I don't know, but I noticed that it's in me because I always had to run with a crowd. I always had to have people around. Even now, people are like, girl, you be outside. But if I sit at home too long, I get depressed. I'll go a weekend and don't do nothing and rest and look at Netflix and binge watch some stuff, but I can't do that 2 weekends in a row. Because if I sit home too long, I'm gonna get depressed.
Now, have you sought therapy?
I've been on and off with psychiatrists and therapy. I need to be in a more consistent therapy phase But I've done some psychiatry stuff because I needed to get on some medicine because at one point in time, I was like a sinking ship. And I was in a very dark place. And I needed to get stabilized because I just couldn't come up out of it.
Are you doing that now?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Well, thank
Yeah.
goodness for that.
Yeah, because I could get like dark but I still feel like I had this real big meltdown a few weeks ago because, Jerick income wasn't there anymore. My mama income was gone. My sister wasn't working. And there was a moment I just felt like I was about to lose my spot. And I'm the go-to for everybody. I'm the big sister, I'm the mother. But it was a day that I just didn't see. I couldn't see the forest for the trees, and I felt like I needed to call somebody, and I had nobody to call, just to vent.
Just
And
felt
I just
overwhelmed.
remember that I just in the bathroom, and it was like I just lost it. I mean, I was screaming, I was crying, and I can remember my sister, the one that's 22. She took the girls, and she be door dashing sometime, and I looked around and everybody would go, and I said, oh, she got them out the house. She texted me, she was like, I just took them. I'm gonna feed them and just get them away from you for a minute. And the meltdown came from my daughter, just hand out, and she played basketball. She do this. It was back to school time. It was like, and it was all on me, and I needed to call somebody just to vent,
Right.
and I felt like everybody come to me with a problem, but I didn't have nobody to go to, and I hadn't had no moment like that. I only never recall having a moment like
Is
that.
that real though? Do you really not have anybody to go to, or are you just not wanting to ask for help?
I don't have nobody to go to.
In your friend circle.
Like my friend circle, I can vent to them, but they really can't do anything for me. I find myself even being more the nurturer with most of my friendships. Don't get me wrong, I got friends I can vent to, but it ended up being kind of turned around. I'm the one that they call.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody like to vent, and I don't mind talking to my friends and trying to get the best advice that I can, but it just got to the point that I just didn't feel like I could call nobody with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that's when I get into that mode. I ain't got no mama. My grandmama gone. I need somebody with some wisdom that I could talk to. And I didn't have that. I needed somebody to tell me it's gonna be okay, it's gonna work out. But in that moment, I just was full panic attack. And I can remember being, that was like a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I was off that Friday. No, I went to work that Friday. I remember getting into bed that Friday, and I literally did not get out of bed other than to pee or go to the kitchen the whole weekend. I didn't shower. I didn't do anything. And even that Monday, I didn't get up and go to the gym. And I didn't have to work that Monday. And I finally remember saying, all right, Tanner, you got to get up. You gotta get back into civilization, and so me being outside, I joke, I'm like, yeah, y'all know I'm outside, but that outside for me is therapy for me, because I'll get in that bed and I will not move, and I'll be just sunk there, and the rejection from a man reminds me of rejection from a father I never knew, the rejection from a mother that never wanted to be a mother, and any friendships that didn't last, because I'm a giver. Every friend I've ever had, come over here for Thanksgiving. You ain't got to spend Thanksgiving by yourself. Come over for Christmas. Come on a family vacation with us. I pulled everybody in just because I want everybody to feel loved and not alone. But that wasn't always getting reciprocated. So I pulled that was just me. You know what I'm saying? I had to even talk Chris out of being like that, because he was a lot like that. Welcome everybody, then you see they ain't got your back the same way that you got them, and disappoint. Yeah.
Given everything and the size of Fairburn, as you mentioned, why did you stay in Fairburn?
Just by default. It's like my grandmama was here, my siblings were here. I was trying to keep Chris with his same friends and the same, keeps the stability. The elementary school he went to, it was associated with the middle school he went to, with the high school he went to. kept his friends together. I was able to keep my grandmama's same address. I moved around a lot throughout Fairburn,
Yeah.
but I was able to keep my grandmama's house, my home house. My address would stay her address up until probably about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was a part of me used to want to go away, but I couldn't leave my grandmama. I couldn't leave the kids. And it just, the cycle. Now it's still a cycle. My daughter go one day at Creekside. I got to keep them in the district, keep them right there. So every decision I've made so far has all been based on my siblings and my kids, not so much me. I just had to keep that stability for them. I didn't want them to feel like they bounced around too much or had to always get to know new people. I wanted them to be comfortable. And I stayed within my group. It ain't like, my grandma's house was my home house, so I went to elementary school with these folks, middle school with these folks, high school with these folks. And there's a part of me love being from this small town. Part of me love when I see some of my friends who I grew up with, parents come in the doctor's office because I work in Palmetto. They come in and they be like, "Tammy, that you?" You know, and I like that. I like the country feel. My dream life right now would be to stay on the outskirts of like Palmetto, like, you know, the country area where there's a lot of land, and my house sit back off the road, and you would have to know where I live to get there. You can't get on no bus to get there. And, you know, have people sitting on the porch with me and having wine on the weekend and with somebody that truly just love me, and I spend this second half of my life living the dream life that I dream of.
Tana's story is a powerful reminder of how deeply childhood experiences shape who we become as parents and partners. From growing up without her mother's love to finding purpose and unconditional acceptance through her son, she's shown both the pain of generational trauma and the resilience it can inspire. Though her relationship with her mother remains fractured, Tana's journey speaks to the strength it takes to break cycles, seek healing, and redefine love for the next generation. Next week, on The Motherly Shift, we will continue with part 2 of Tana's story as she opens up about the last 6 years of living with her mother, navigating repeated rehab attempts, and the financial and emotional toll of trying to provide stability. She also reflects on her own parenting philosophy with her 2 daughters, shaped by rejection and hardship, and shares candidly about reaching her breaking point and recognizing the need for therapy and support. Thank you once again for joining the discussion. I'm Kim Michelle, and this is The Motherly Shift.